Good morning, scholars, and welcome back to the Restricted Collection, a podcast about tabletop games. I'm your host, the head librarian, Chad, and today we're going to start a playthrough of the fan-made Night of Vespers campaign with new Marie Lambeau. It is a lovely day outside, so I've decided the table that I'm at is near the windows, so I open the windows up. Hopefully it won't cause terribly much of a problem, but we'll play that by ear. So, Night of Vespers. When man first began to dream, they were there to plague him. When the last man on earth dies, they will be there to mourn him. Banish the frailties of hope, wither the relenting of love, scorch of the fountain or of tears, curse him as only thou canst curse. So shall he be accompanied in the furnace. I am so sorry, I'm so tongue-tied at the moment. So shall he see the things that ought not to be seen, sights that are abominable, and secrets that are unutterable. That is a quote from Thomas de Quincey, Lavena and Our Ladies of Sorrows. New keyword, jinxed and jinx. Investigators will encounter the pervasive and unpredictable effects of ancient witchcraft throughout the Night of Vespers campaign in the form of the jinx and jinxed keywords. When an investigator fails a fight, evade, or investigate test, while a card when a card with the jinxed keyword is at their location, players at that location must refer to the current act or agenda and resolve the forced effect connected to the bolded jinx text. If a card with the jinx keyword enters play, but its effects are not defined by either the current act or the current agenda, failed fight, evades, or investigate tests do not trigger the jinx keyword. Effects of multiple jinx cards in play at the same location are not cumulative unless otherwise specified. So it's binary and it's like Haunted, but for fights, evade, and investigates. Prologue. You find the envelope placed strategically atop your daily clutter. Someone clearly intended you to find it. There was no chance you wouldn't have noticed it throughout the routine of your day. No chance you'd ignore something so unusual. You flip the small thing back and forth in your hands, appreciating the weight of it against your fingers. You've yet to solve the puzzle of who might have left it for you, but the delicate blend of wood smoke and lavender that scents the paper does much to pique your curiosity. With a touch of excitement, you break open the nondescript wax seal of the envelope and begin to read the handwritten message addressed to you within. Join me for a lovely Italian dinner at Trattoria del Parche. Again, apologies for my mispronunciation. Hotel Seasons, 8 p.m., the evening of September 10th. No questions, don't be late, dress your best, it will be worth it. The message provides no clues about its sender, but only that it adds to the growing sense of mystique. Ever since the Varelli family mansion was reinvented as the Hotel Seasons last year, it has swiftly risen to become a jewel amongst Massachusetts' finest destination hotels. If your mysterious host has chosen the glamorous hotel for your evening meeting, you're certain to be in for quite a captivating evening. Sorry, your eventual meeting, then you're certain to be for captivating evening. Sorry. Today is September 9th. You have just enough time to find something to wear. Proceed to Scenario 1, The End of Seasons. 15 years ago, renowned Italian architect Signor Elio Varelli made his way to Arkham with a mind to construct a palatial estate in which to live out his twilight years. When Varelli passed unexpectedly shortly after the mansion's completion, the ostentatious splendor fell into almost immediate disrepair. What should have been a masterpiece estate from one of Europe's finest architects quickly became a colossal, sagging eyesore at the top of French Hill. Reborn this year as the Hotel Seasons, the estate extends now a warm invitation to travelers along the eastern seaboard, promising luxury beyond compare. When you enter the hotel's lobby and take in the luxurious shades of red and gold decor, you find that the establishment looks very much like the palace that Varelli had always meant it to be. The hotel's concierge efficiently verifies your reservation and offers a gracious escort to its ground floor restaurant, the Trattoria del Parche, He says nothing about the identity of your mysterious dinner companion and merely encourages you to enjoy the floor. Wow, that line break. Enjoy the floor show until they make themselves known. Inside the restaurant is alive with activity, a dance troupe, pirouettes on a nearby stage, a graceful performance for an audience that appears much more interested in their own food. The buzz of conversation dominates the atmosphere, the loudest of which comes from a rowdy party of diners seated nearby. 10 rough-faced diners crowd around a nearby table, their voices raised as they engage in drunken one-upmanship. Seated at the table's head is an elderly couple, elegantly attired but clearly inebriated. You've been in Arkham long enough to recognize the O'Banion gang when you see them. Check to see if any investigator in the campaign have the criminal, detective, police, or reporter traits. Nope. So we skip ahead. Before you can entertain that train of thought any further, the matron d' bustles over to your table to make a fuss about taking your drink orders. Once he shuffles away, you're finally left to settle in your seat. You realize that you're a little nervous. The anticipation of your mysterious companion's arrival continues to build with each passing moment, and it's hard not to wonder just what kind of excitement the rest of your evening will have in store. So I've already set up the scenario. We begin play at Trattoria del Parche with La Dolce Vita side face up. And I've already done everything else, but important to note that in the hotel seasons, as the investigators travel through the hotel seasons, they will be instructed to both add and remove locations from play. When a location is removed from play, set it aside out of play. A location that has been set aside in this way may return into play if another card effect instructs you to do so, unless it has been removed from the game. Unless it has been removed from the game or placed in the victory display. Okay. If you are instructed to remove a location from the game and place it in the victory display, it cannot be returned to play under any circumstances. If a card effect instructs you to put a card that has been removed from the game into play, ignore any text that references that specific location and resolve the rest of the instructions as closely as possible. When a location is removed from play, while playing the end of seasons, discard any attachments and clues on those locations, move any enemies at those locations to the revealed location and play furthest from all investigators unless otherwise directed. All right. End of seasons. Skulls are -1. If you fail, take a damage or a horror. Cultists -1 if this token was drawn while taking an investigation test. Draw another token. Tablets -2 if you fail, lose a resource. Elder things -3 if you fail, resolve the hunter keyword on the closest enemy to you. I don't have any elder things in the bag. I don't distinctly remember elder things being added. This is my third time playing the campaign. I don't distinctly remember. Elder things are if you're at higher difficulties. Your bag starts with elder things. And then Agenda 1A, Too Swift arrives. As the hour of your mysterious dinner companion arrival draws near, you find yourself in need of a distraction. While the Trattoria del Parche's much-acclaimed floor show offers a modest reprieve from your growing boredom and anxiety, the complimentary bottle of wine at your table has been a much more direct way to help you ease the passage of time. You sneak a glance at the clock. Surely you can't be expected to wait for much longer. Can you? One doom to advance, investigators cannot leave Trattoria del Parche. Act 1A, Thus with a Kiss. You can't help but steal another glance back at the table of O'Banion men you noticed when you first entered the restaurant. The grand dame at the far end of the table departs to powder her nose, but not before leaning down to give the elderly gent at the head of the table a gentle kiss on the cheek. Isn't it nice to see that romance is alive and well, even in these curious times? Objective. Try to enjoy the evening. You deserve it. Parentheses, you will be instructed when to advance. I begin play at Trattoria del Parche, La Dolce Vita side, 2 shroud, 0 clues. The art's very pretty. The first card played during each investigator's turn here costs 1 less resource. Action, search the top 9 cards of your deck for a card of your choice and draw it. Shuffle your deck, limit once per game. You did make sure to wear your nicest outfit, but somehow you still feel underdressed. All right. Marie Lambeau, 4 health, 4 intellect, 1 strength, 3 agility, performer, and witch traded. Reaction after damage is placed on her, draw 2 cards and discard 1 of them. Limit once per phase. Elder Sign effect +0 if you succeed to heal a damage. So here's the funny thing about this scenario. This scenario deals a lot of damage. A lot of little pings of damage, in my experience, for this scenario. Opening hand, Cosmic Guidance. When it comes to Chapter 2 cards, I'm going to read them out because they're still new. Partly for myself, partly for you. Cosmic Guidance, skill card commits for a will. If this skill test is successful, heal 1 damage from the performing investigator. Blood Curse, skill card, 4 wild, max 1 per committed, 1 committed per skill test. If this skill test is successful, take a direct damage. Deny Existence, Scroll of Secrets, and level 0 Jim Culver, the Haunted Musician, 4 cost, commits for a will. You get +1 will while he's in play, and after you take damage and or horror, exhaust him to draw a card. His upgraded version's quite good. None of this is helping me kill things. So let's go ahead and get rid of Deny Existence, Blood Curse, and Cosmic Guidance to draw 3 more cards, which are Ritual Candles, Grandmare's Charm, and Infuse Life. Grandmare's Charm is the signature asset. 2 cost, commits for 2 will and a wild. Fast, take a direct damage and exhaust the charm to replenish 1 charge on an asset you control, and it has soaks for 3. And then Infuse Life, 4 cost events, spell event, commits for a wild, heal 3 damage from amongst investigators and ally assets at your location. That one I feel is a little expensive, but I kept it in the deck because I knew that this scenario was going to do a lot of damage to me. So that's something I'm planning on upgrading out of real quick, because I just think that's too expensive for its cost. But, you know, that's just me. But yeah, I'm just try to enjoy the evening. This is the nicest Arkham scenario ever. What was that I was saying about taking a bunch of damage? Clearly I must be wrong. I am playing true solo. I have yet to been proven that I don't need the Boon of Hermes in Chapter 2, so I am going to play with the Boon of Hermes. Thank you for bearing with me. Yes, sure, let's search the top 9 cards of my deck. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I was hoping for an attack spell, but I don't have one. There is a Bloodstone, which is a... it's a Holy Rosary, but soaks for damage. I really would rather have Grandmare's Charm. Yeah, there's not a lot here that I want. Another Infuse Life, Ward of Protection, Deny Existence, Blood Curse, Offering Bowl, 3 offerings, fast spend an offering, exhaust it to take a damage and gain 2 resources. Another Jim Culver, another Blood Curse, and then Second Sight, which is the Investigate spell. I guess I'll grab the Second Sight. It's not exactly what I wanted right now, but it's fine. Okay. Let's... so I have 2 regular actions left. Let's get down Jim Culver. He costs 1 fewer because of my location. The first card played during each investigator's turn here is -1 cost. It only cost me 3 to get Jim down. Bumps my will to 5. And then... let's get Ritual Candles to be defensive. I love Scroll of Secrets, but let's play Ritual Candles to be defensive. But why would I need to be defensive? Everything's going lovely. Enemy phase nothing, resource and a card. I'm at 2 resources and I drew a Deny Existence. And we add a Doom and we advance. As Tardy as too slow. The clock ticks on. You've nibbled through the contents of your bread basket, and while that's helped to fend off a little of the awkward feeling of waiting alone at your table, your attention remains fixed on the restaurant's entrance. You're still holding out hope that your elusive dinner companion will walk in any second now. Instead, you witness a line of trench-coat-clad men march through the doorway, forming an ominous blockade across the front of the establishment. Against the commotion of the floor show, their arrival goes largely unnoticed. None of the other diners seem to register the moment when the men draw their firearms from beneath their coats, or when they aim squarely at the O'Banion party. You see this all unfold before anyone else does. The grim realization of what is about to happen is yours alone. You have just enough time to flip over your table. Flip my location to its La Bruta Vita side and advance to Act 1B. So, La Bruta Vita. 2 shroud, 1 per investigator clues. As an additional cost to move out of this location, test agility 2. If you fail, you must either cancel the effects of the move or take 1 damage. Force, at the end of the round, each investigator at this location takes one direct damage and 1 direct horror. Yay. As much as you loathe the idea of dining and dashing, good manners won't win you any favors if you're dead. This is true. All right. Parting is such sweet sorrow, Act 1B. The unmistakable staccato sound of gunfire erupts over your head. I do like that phrase, the staccato of gunfire. Erupts over your head as the restaurant descends into chaos. Glass explodes into shards around you. Stray bullets reduce the once luxurious decor to shreds. From behind the safety of your upturned table, you can see the remnants of the O'Banion party strewn about the floor. From what you can tell, most of them didn't even have time to react before they were gunned down in cold blood. Amidst the scream of the terrified dancers on stage, you can hear one of the hatchet men issue a single gruff command. No witnesses. Put the Trattoria Kitchens and Bar La Amalatrice, into play, face down, advance to Act 2A. So I need the bar, and I need the kitchens. They connect to where I am, but they do not connect to each other, as will become very clear. This is I'm going to be forced in one direction, because let me rephrase that. They do not connect to where I am. Where I am connects to where they are. This is a lot of one-ways in this scenario. Act 2A, a family affair. A stray bullet ricochets into a porcelain vase just behind your head, shattering it into pieces. Unless you intend to finish out your evening in the back of a hearse, you need to get out of this restaurant fast. Forced, after you move to a new location, search the unrevealed locations. Set each unrevealed location aside out of play. And then, objective: if each undefeated investigator is at the grand ballroom, they may spend the requisite number of clues as a group to advance. I need 2 per investigator clues. So the bar and the kitchens are very similar on the back. All these locations on the back are going to have a similar shtick. Forced, after you move to the bar, put each of the following locations that have not been removed from the game or placed in the victory display into play unrevealed. From the bar, I can go to the Gallery Lavandière or the mezzanine elevators. And same thing with the kitchens. From the kitchens, I can go to the Gallery Lavandière or the Lavanderi. I'll stop apologizing. There's just a blanket apology. Or I can go to the Hotel Wine Cellar. The flavor text on the bar is, the bar offers a staggering catalog of more than 60 distinct varieties of alcohol. That such a thing is allowed to exist in Arkham during Prohibition is nothing short of mind-boggling. In fact, the fact that the city police haven't shut it down is a veritable miracle. And the kitchen's flavor text, the kitchens exude a heavy aroma of red wine and tomato sauce. There's another rich smell as well, something you can't quite place. Cool. I have still more things to read. Agenda 2A, Open Season. Screams echo throughout the hotel seasons. You keep your head low and prepare to bolt at the first sign of a lull in gunfire. Forced, when an encounter card requires you to look for the nearest or furthest location from you, treat all location connections as if they were 2-way instead of 1-way. So enemies can benefit from backtracking. I cannot. Forced as an additional cost to move into any unrevealed location, investigators must spend 1 per investigator clues as a group. Act 2A, a family affair. I already read that. Okay. Encounter card. Because that was all just from adding a doom. Crumbling Foundations. Revelation. Test agility 3. If you fail, you must either discard an asset you control or each investigator at your location takes 1 damage. Marie's ability is a limit once per phase. I drew a skull -1. If you fail, take a damage in horror, but I have ritual candles, which means I pass. This is why I put ritual candles out. I'm like, yeah, the skulls are -1, the cultists are -1. At least makes them zeros, which is nice. So it's my turn, finally. I don't want to be here. I don't want to be here real bad. So I'm going to investigate at 2 up. That's a +1. That's a clue. I kind of like the idea of, like, in a gun shootout running behind the bar. Like, so let's run behind the bar. As additional cost to move from the Trattoria del Parche, I must test agility 2. If I fail, I must either cancel the effects of the move or take a damage. That is an automatic failure. I will take a damage. I can put that damage on Jim Culver. Thanks, Jim, which I can then exhaust to gain a resource. So we jump behind the bar. So when I move behind the bar, the kitchens go away. And I get the Galleria and the elevators. The gallery and the elevators. Gallery goes to hotel lobby and the luxury suites. And the flavor text is, the Hotel Seasons Tasteful Fine Art Gallery currently showcases a collection of work by masters of the Renaissance. There's no room here for that baffling cubist nonsense that seems to have taken the world by storm. And then the mezzanine elevators go to the luxury suites and the presidential suite. The mezzanine elevators are true works of art featuring ornate design elements in polished brass and marble. I think I'm probably going to go towards the elevators for the luxury suites and the presidential suites. That's just me. The bar itself is 2 shroud, 1 per investigator clues. Forced when you reveal this location, take a horror. Thanks, Jim. You're a real pal. Oh, I'm sorry. I don't gain a resource when I exhaust this Jim. I draw a card, which gets me another Jim. So I took the resource back and drew a card. My mistake. Action investigate. This test uses agility instead of intellect. I probably won't do that. And the flavor text is, the bartender is hunched down behind the countertop, pressing a flimsy rag against a minor bullet wound on his neck. He locks eyes with you and mouths a single word, run. Great. Okay, so first action was get a clue. Hermes into this location. Third action, let's try to get a clue. 2 up. That is a -3. Let's try to get a clue for my last action. 2 up. -2. Got a clue. So I have 1 clue because I had to spend a clue to move, but at least now I can leave. Resource and a card. Ward of Protection. 1 of 6 Doom. Forgot to mark my Doom threshold. There we go. And we draw a Skulking Hooligan. 2 health, 2 fight, 3 evade. Spawns at the furthest revealed location from the investigator's hunter. If he engages an investigator, the investigator must decide, choose 1. Return half of your clues to the token bank, round it up, and refill your clue's location to its maximum clue value. Or put 1 Doom on the agenda. This Doom may cause the agenda to advance. I'll spawn him behind me. And that's that. Let's move to the mezzanine elevators. This removes the gallery and puts the luxury suites and the presidential suite into play. And its front side is 3 shroud, 1 per investigator clues. Forced, when you reveal the elevators, randomly discard 1 card from your hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 cards in hand. Let me read what it does before I choose if I want to deny. Well, deny existence. It's not an encounter card. I can't deny existence. This. So I've got 7 cards. I don't have a D8 on hand, so I will roll to see left or right. Odds left, evens from the right. Odds are from the left. Okay, and then it is the 5th card from the left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Goodbye, Scroll of Secrets. Well, okay. If it is an asset, you may return a different asset from your discard pile to your hand. There are no other assets in my discard pile. One of the elevators is slowly descending to your floor, and you have only a moment to prepare for whatever or whoever is inside. I'm a little sad that I lost the Scroll of Secrets, but it's fine. I could really use an extra $1. I don't have an extra $1 right now. First action, investigates. Only 1 up. Kind of hoping for a symbol. -1. You know what? I'll take that. That's fine too. So I'm at 1 clue. Let's move to the presidential suite. I forgot to read that the luxury suites. Hey, it's okay, guys. The risk of having the window open. Random dog barks. Luxury suites. A stay at any of the hotel's 60 luxury suites ought to tempt even the most jaded cosmopolitan traveler. And the presidential suite, the 2-level presidential suite boasts a spacious downstairs living area, while upstairs is a master bedroom fit for royalty awaits. Let's go to the presidential suite. I'm worth it. So we get the hotel rooftop and the hedge maze. Wherever I put those. Hotel rooftop and hedge mage, both of which go to the grand ballroom. Okay. The hedge maze, a delight for children and adults alike. The hotel season's Juniper Hedge Maze is a surefire way to fill an evening with whimsical fun for the whole family. And the rooftop, the panoramic view of the city as seen atop French Hill, is one of Hotel Season's most stunning features, allowing visitors to take in Arkham's breathtaking skyline in all of its splendor. The presidential suite flips over to 4 shroud, 2 per investigator clues. I lose all my clues. Forced, when you reveal this, test agility 4 if you succeed, gain a resource and draw a card if you fail, lose an action. Probably losing an action. Well, I'm going to commit Infuse Life for the wild. I'm not playing you anytime soon. -2. So I failed, so I lose an action. So I investigated, I moved, so I have 1 real action left. This is a Victory 2 location. Up the stairs of the master suite and out an open window. But what then? Have you thought this route through? I'm going to just gain a resource as my last action. The Skulking Hooligan is going to move to the bar. And then resource sand a card. So I'm at 5 resources, and I just drew another Deny Existence. 2 of 6 Doom. And I drew Liminal Dread. Test Will 3. If you fail, attach it to a connecting location, unrevealed if able. If you cannot take a horror and it gains Surge, when an investigator enters the attached location, the investigator takes 1 horror and must immediately end their turn. Discard Liminal Dread. I'm 2 up. That is a -4. So where am I not going? Because I'm going to just put it on the location I'm not going to go to. I'm going to attach it to the hotel rooftop, so I guess we're going to the hedge maze. I don't have a strong preference between the 2 of them. I just like thematically the idea of running through the hedge maze, even though that might be a pain in the butt. I don't exactly remember what the hedge maze does. Or if I do even remember what the hedge maze does. First action, Second Sight. Costs 4 resources, dropping me to 1, has 3 charges. And then we are going to investigate. I'm going to commit Grandmare's Charm to be 4 up. I feel bad committing that. Maybe I don't want to commit that. I'm 1 up. I'm 1 up and I have the ritual candles. I'll commit my second Jim Culver. So I'm 2 up. -2, that's a clue. And then I'm 1 up. I don't love this. -1 from a skull, +1. Great. I got another clue. Great. Thank you, ritual candles. So played a card, clued. Let's move to the hedge maze. 4 shroud, 2 per investigator clues. If there are no clues remaining on hedge maze, test will 3. If you succeed, remember that you found a way through the hedge maze. You catch sight of your assailants a few hedgerows over, struggling to navigate the labyrinth. Unfortunately, you're just as lost as they are. This gets rid of the hotel rooftop and puts the ballroom in front of me. And then Liminal Dread is discarded. Okay. Hunting. Skulking Hooligan moves forward. Resource Sand a card. Drew a Scroll of Secrets. I haven't taken as much damage as I thought I would. I say now as I'm going to take a crap ton of damage. 3 of 6 Doom. And we find a catastrophic drop hazard. The picture is a chandelier dropping. Attached to your location, if you would end your turn at this location, test agility 2 + X, where X is the number of resource tokens on catastrophic drop. If you succeed, put 1 resource token on catastrophic drop. If you fail, discard catastrophic drop, and each investigator at this location takes a damage in horror. It's going to drop eventually. Let's put a Scroll of Secrets down and use it to look at the bottom card of my deck. It's a Ward of Protection. Okay. I'm 1 up on investigating here. -1. That's a clue. 1 up using Second Sight. Let's investigate again. -4. So I played a card, investigates. That's it. That's all I can do. Skulking Hooligan is now 1 space behind me. Resource Sand a card. I think I spent the resource on... I think I spent the resource for Scroll of Secrets. I'm at 3 resources. I think that's right. Apologies if I miscounted. 4 of 6 Doom. Second... if I end my turn here. Sorry. If I end my turn here, test agility 2 + 0. So I'm 1 up. Cultist, -1. If this test was drawn while taking an investigation test, it was not. So I succeed and put a counter on catastrophic drop. Okay, now we're at 4 of 6. Doom. Second Thoughts. Put Second Thoughts into play next to the agenda deck. As additional cost for an investigator to play a card from their hand or take a move action, they must spend 1 action, double action to discard it. Yeah, no. I'm going to spend 1 and just ward that. I don't want to deal with that at all. I will take a Horror, which lets me draw a card with Jim. Thank you, Jim. Which gets me an Infuse Life. You're canceled in. Start of my turn, exhaust Scroll of Secrets to look at the bottom card of my deck. It is a Cosmic Flame. Sure, let's draw that. Fearless, 2 deny existence, Ward of Protection, Grandmare's Charm, Cosmic Flame, and an Infuse Life in hand. Let's investigate. I'm going to commit Fearless to this to be 2 up. +1. Got the clue. So I have 3 clues. Which is all the clues that I need. And I need to now test Will 3. I'm 2 up on a Will 3 check. Seems fine by me. Skull -1, I did not fail because it's actually a 0. I was still 3 up. So I have found my way through the hedge maze. So I investigated. I found my way through the hedge maze. Let's move, which spends a clue, and gets me to the Grand Ballroom. 4 Shroud, 2 per investigator clues. Forced, when you reveal the Grand Ballroom, resolve the Hunter keyword on each enemy in play. That gets the Skulking Hooligan forward, unfortunately. This location gets -1 Shroud for each enemy with the Hunter keyword in play. The flavor text is, a body lies sprawled out in a ghoulish position across the ballroom's grand piano. As grotesque as the sight is, something about it compels you to investigate forward. Victory 2. So I would really like to get this. So I investigated. I got through the hedge maze. I moved with my Hermes action. So let's commit Infuse Life to be 3 up. I don't need to be 3 up. 2 up's pretty good. Elder Sign. +0 if I succeed, I can heal 1 damage. I don't have any damage on me because I thought I'd be taking more damage. Regardless, I got this clue, putting me at 3. I don't want to advance right now, but the Skulking Hooligan is going to make friends with me. Which actually means there was no point in me investigating because I would have to drop half my... I'd remove half my... Yeah, there's no point in me investigating. So I didn't get that clue, and I'll just take a resource because he's going to engage me and refill the clues on my location anyway. So resource and a card. Called to Guinea. I cannot heal damage while it's in play. Action, choose and discard 3 cards from my hand to discard it. Great. This is just great. Everything's coming up Millhouse. 5 of 6 Doom, and I draw a Hired Triggerman, who's also a hunter. Okay. This got really bad all of a sudden, and I don't like that. Okay. I'm going to spend 3 and trigger 2 attacks of opportunity, taking 2 damage and a horror. This lets me exhaust Jim Culver to draw a card. And then after damage is placed on, which is a Dendromorphosis. Oh, I should have gotten my Ritual Candle first, or my Ritual Candle, my Scroll of Secrets first, but oh well. And then I get to draw 2 cards and discard 1 of them. Hey, look, the favor of Bolshendor, which would have just helped me. Let's get rid of that second sight. Oh boy, this just got real bad real fast. Okay. Attack Skulking Hooligan. No, you don't do anything to me now that you're engaged with me. So attack Hired Triggerman. I could have denied existence. I don't need to have denied existence right now. I will commit the Infuse Life to be 3 up on the Triggerman. Sorry, Hired Triggerman. 2 health, 3 fight, 2 evade, Humanoid Criminal Syndicate, Hunter. If he would attack me during the enemy phase, I can spend 3 resources to cancel that attack. That's a +1. You're dead. Attacking the Skulking Hooligan, because I just don't want to deal with you right now. That is a Cultist, -1 if this token was drawn during an investigation. It is not. You're dead. And Cosmic Flame cares if I draw... Cosmic Flame. Fight, use will. If you succeed, you may spend 1 charge to deal +1 damage. I would have spent 2 charges to do +1 damage to each of those. If you reveal a skull token during this test, remove a charge from Cosmic Flame. If you cannot, take a damage and discard it instead. Okay. That wasn't great. Enemy phase, nothing. Resource sand, a card. Hey, look, it's a ritual candle. We hit 6 of 6 doom. No safe passage. You continue your tumultuous flight through the hotel corridors, but you skid to a sudden stop when you hear the sound of angry voices from around the corner. Slipping past them unnoticed will take some luck. In player order, each investigator tests agility 3. Any investigator that fails will search the encounter deck and discard pile for a syndicate enemy. I forgot to spend 3 on my Cosmic Flame. And spawn it. If you cannot, the nearest syndicate enemy... move the nearest syndicate enemy to your location and makes an immediate attack. So I'm even. And I drew a -2. So I'm going to search the encounter deck for another Skulking Hooligan. And at a connecting location. Oh, you're going to go back to... I don't want you there. Then I guess we'll spawn another hired triggerman at the hedge maze. I'd rather you than the clue shenanigans this thing's about to do to me, that the skulking guy would do to me. Agenda 3A, calling it a night. Time has become your enemy. The hatchet men are on your tail, are growing closer with each passing moment. Force, when an encounter card requires you look for the nearest or furthest location. Treat all locations as if they were 2A. Yep. And then forced, after... as initial cost, move to unrevealed location, spend a clue. Yep. Nothing's functionally changed. It's just 9 doom to advance. I need to get moving. And my encounter card is a conflagration, if I'm pronouncing that right. Conflagration. Hazard attached to your location at the end of the round. If you're at this location or connecting location, take a damage. Fast agility 3. If you succeed, discard it. Otherwise, take a damage. Okay. Yeah, this got bad really quickly. Okay. It's a 3-shroud location. I'm 2 up. 2 up's pretty good for investigating. Second sight, I can spend a charge to discover additional clue. I forgot to do that. Let's start doing that now. I'm 2 up. That's a -2. I'll spend a charge to get both of these clues. And... let's get the heck out of here. So if each undefeated investigator is at the ballroom, we may spend the requisite number of clues as a group to advance. I'm doing that. This text is tiny. Out of the frying pan. The grand ballroom is eerily silent amidst the chaos. Recognition strikes once you inspect the savage corpse that has been propped up against the grand piano. The elderly gentleman who had been seated at the head of the O'Banion table now gapes up vacantly at you, his eyes gouged from their sockets and his face slashed into ribbons. If you hadn't seen him alive and well earlier tonight, you'd swear he'd been dead for weeks. Your line of thought is interrupted as the ballroom's curtain suddenly ignite and the room erupts into flames. Panicked, you shield your eyes and stagger away from the old man's body. You push through a pair of ornate double doors, ready to resume your escape, and find yourself back at the Trattoria del Parche's dining hall. With dismay, you realize that that all you've accomplished after your terrified flight through the hotel is a single loop through the estate. There is a groan behind you. You take a glance back at the fiery ballroom, only to see the old man's corpse rise achingly to its feet like something out of a nightmare. The wordless hiss it makes when it notices you watching is all the encouragement you need to resume running. Discard all enemies from play. So I still have a clue left. So discard all enemies from play. Done. That are not currently engaged with investigator. Done. Move each investigator to the start again. And move each and return the remaining set-aside locations connected. Wasn't I supposed to remove all the locations? Oh yeah, remove each revealed location from play, putting victory locations into the victory display. Okay, done. The revealed locations go away, which means all of the attachments are discarded. Done. And so now when I put this into play, I can either go to the kitchen. I can only go to the kitchen because the kitchen is the only option I have because I already went to the bar. Refill clues on my location. 1 clue, done. Spawn the set-aside Declan O'Doyle enemy at my location, exhausted, then shuffle the set-aside Inferno encounter set and the encounter discard pile. Oh, I already had that in the encounter deck. That's my bad. It didn't really do anything to me, but yeah, now all the fire cards are in play that I shouldn't have already put in there. Advance to Act 3A, into the fire. All of this running, and you've only managed to wind your way back to where you began. With the hotel ablaze, your only hope now is to survive the evening unscathed, is to cut a path through the flames to meet an exit, any exit. Forced, after you enter a new location, remove each unrevealed location in play from the game. Jinxed, you must either place 1 clue on your location from the token bank or ready the nearest exhausted enemy. Objective, if each undefeated investigator is at the conservatory, hedge maze, or hotel rooftop, they may spend the requisite number of clues as a group to advance, which is 2. So I just basically need to do all this again. Declan O'Doyle, the reanimated racketeer. The art is very unsettling. Humanoid, criminal, risen, elite, 2 health, 3 fight, 3 evade. Hunter, retaliate, jinxed. Declan O'Doyle gets +1 per investigator health, so he has 3 health. Forced, if he would be defeated, set his health to 1 per investigator and exhaust him instead, and he does not ready during the next upkeep phase. He is currently exhausted. I don't want to be here. So I am going to... I still have 2 actions. Well, I investigated. Yeah, so I have 2 regular actions and Hermes action. Let's get a cheap clue while we're here using Second Sight. 3 up. That is a tablet. -2 if you fail to lose a resource. I do not. And then we're going to Hermes into the kitchens, because that's the only place I can go. When I try to leave the Trattoria del Parche, I must test agility 2. -2, I failed. I must either cancel the effects or take a damage. I'll take the damage on Dendromorphosis. To go into the kitchen, and the kitchen leads either to the gallery or to the wine cellar. I have gone to neither of those. Gallery and the wine cellar. Gallery goes to the lobby and the luxury suites. The wine cellar goes to the lobby or the pleasure gardens. And the flavor text on the wine cellar is, or on the back of the wine cellars, for those seeking an unforgettable tasting experience, the hotel season's experienced, I always forget how to pronounce this, sommelier, stands ready to guide guests through the cellar's treasure trove of rare vintages. Kitchens, 1 shroud, 2 per investigator clues. Forced, when you reveal it, take a damage. Okay, I'll exhaust Jim Culver to draw a card, which gets me a Fearless. Action, search the top 10 cards of your deck for a supply card and add it to your hand and shuffle your deck. The pervasive scent mixed in with the tomato sauce and wine was, in fact, the smell of something burning. In the chaos, a small grease fire has broken out in one of the stovetops. So I investigated and got the clues I needed to advanced. Got a clue, moved, so I have 1 action left, with which I'm just going to spend the clue I have to move to the wine cellar. I just want to get some distance. So the hotel wine cellar, 3 shroud, 2 per investigator clues. Forced, when you reveal it, test intellect or agility 3. If you fail, move the nearest enemy in play to this location. If there are no enemies in play, take a damage in a horror. The wine cellar is quiet and poorly lit. Any manner of things could be hiding behind the racks, lying in wait for you. So I need to test... I'm going to test intellect, because I'm better at intellect. And we're going to commit... one of my deny existences to be 2 up, because 2 up's a pretty good place to be. Tablet, -2. If you fail, lose a resource. I did not fail. So Declan's all the way back there, which I am very happy about. This puts the hotel lobby and pleasure gardens into play. Hotel lobby connects to the hedge maze and the conservatory. No expense has been spared in providing the most lavish experience for the hotel season's patrons with a gorgeous lobby designed in the contemporary arts. What is that word? Sorry, the text is sometimes very small on these cards. With a gorgeous lobby designed in the contemporary arts decoratives style in stunning glades of golden scarlet. Sorry. And then the pleasure gardens connects to the hedge maze and the hotel rooftops. The hotel season's classical English pleasure gardens offer a retreat from the rigors of daily life, a haven for leisurely strolls, peaceful contemplation, or simply unwinding amidst the timeless beauty of the outdoors. Great. That is the end of my turn. Declan will wake up. Resource sand a card. Another Cosmic Flame. I'm not sad about this. 1 of 9 Doom, and we find Conflagration. At the end of the round, if I'm at this location or connecting location, take a damage. Test Agility 3 as a fast. If I succeed, get rid of it. Great. I still have a resource on I still have a charge on Cosmic Flame. I don't have any clues at the moment. So let's investigate using Second Sight. Let's commit Fearless, because I can still heal Horror to be 3 up. That is a skull. I succeed. Second Sight doesn't care about skulls. I will spend a charge to get both of these clues, just to have a bank of clues. And I will heal 1 of Horror, so I'm at 1 of 7 Horror. Let's move to the Pleasure Gardens. I feel like the hotel. I feel like the lobby is just thematically too obvious, and I kind of like going back to the in the sense the hedge maze again. 3 shroud, 2 per investigator clues. After you reveal this location, test will or agility 3. If you fail, discard an asset under my control. I'm 2 up. Skulls a -1. Great. And this puts the hedge maze or the hotel rooftop into play. Those are the same options I had last time, right? Didn't the presidential suite lead to the hotel rooftop or the hedge maze? Okay, I guess I'm going to the hotel rooftop. That's the only option I have. I thought they went to different pairs, but apparently I was mistaken. Yeah, 3 shroud, 2 per investigator clues. You briefly consider making a break for the garden walls, but they're much too high to scale. You probably wouldn't. You probably shouldn't linger out here in the open for too long. Victory 2. Let's investigate again. 0. I'll spend the last charge off of Second Sight to get both of these clues. So I'm at 3 clues now, because I spent 1 to get here. So I investigated, moved, investigated. Let's just keep moving. To the hotel rooftop. 4 shroud, 2 per investigator clues. If there are no clues remaining on hotel rooftop, test agility 3. If you succeed, remember that you opened the rooftop skylight, but I don't need to do that, because I can just spend 2 per investigator clues and GTFO, which is what I'm going to do, because I am out of things that I care about. If the act advanced at the hotel rooftop, the wind on the rooftop bites at your face. Looking down, you gauge the distance to the ground below. A sizable drop, but survivable if the hedges below cushion your fall. It's not a perfect plan, but you lose the opportunity to consider any alterations when the old man's relentless corpse emerges onto the rooftop behind you. I don't know what you're talking about. He's 4 locations behind me. Down has become your only viable path. You swallow your courage and leap. Add an elder thing to the chaos bag. Done. And R1. Okay, I've got a printout for the book. There's some people outside, so hopefully that's not super noticeable. R1. The city of Arkham hasn't needed to contend with the same level of crime as nearby Boston, but it's certainly no stranger to gangland violence. In any other circumstance, the attack on the O'Banion party by a rival syndicate would be a textbook tragedy, a terrible shame, but one within the bounds of belief. But when your evening takes a detour into the bazaar as the eyeless corpse of Declan O'Doyle starts shambling after you in relentless pursuit, you're forced to concede that this evening is anything but ordinary. Once you pull yourself to your feet, you manage to limp haphazardly down the hotel's driveway just as a distant wail of sirens finally announces the late arrival of Arkham's police department. The rush of adrenaline that fueled your escape finally fades, and you collapse to your knees as the authorities manage to clamber out of their squad cars. You're exhausted and bloody, and the police quickly find that you're in no shape to answer their many questions. You're swiftly placed on a stretcher and whisked away into the back of an ambulance bound for St. Mary Hospital. Any answers that you had hoped would explain the unsettling turn of events your evening has taken are going to have to wait. Record in your campaign log that you escaped the Hotel Seasons and proceed to Resolution 2. You are forced to spend next week convalescing in your hotel bed. Thanks to the Arkham Gazette's exhaustive coverage and unfriendly grilling by a couple of detectives from the Arkham Police Department, you've begun piecing together the pieces of a puzzle of what truly happened that night. Haster, it's okay. It's okay, buddy. The Hotel Seasons now lies in ruins, devoured by flames that the Arkham Gazette seems content to blame on faulty wiring. However, the real meat of the newspaper's coverage is the raging turf war between Boston's Italian syndicate and the O'Banion gang that has taken over the city. It seems that Declan O'Doyle, the old man at the center of the night's events, has been courting the syndicate behind the O'Banion's back for some time. His very public demise at the Hotel Seasons was a loud and clear message to Naomi and her men. The Italians have no taste for traitors, signaling that business between the two outfits has come to a close. Their new aim? To stamp out the Irish gang once and for all, wresting control of Arkham's underground from their fingers. The Arkham Police Department has called in backup from Boston, but until those reinforcements can arrive, the gang war won't be easing up anytime soon. You still don't know why you were called to the Trattoria del Parche that evening, or the identity of the person whose invitation allowed you a front row seat to the carnage. It's not until you are ready to be discharged from the hospital that you find that someone has left something for you at the hospital's front desk. This time there's a catch. There are 2 messages for you, and each one claims to be sent from your mysterious benefactor. So I earn 6 XP, which is pretty decent, all things considered. The time you spent recovering in St. Mary's Hospital has allowed you the opportunity to lick your wounds. Each investigator may choose to heal a mental or physical trauma. I don't have any mental or physical trauma, so I don't do the rest of it. And then Interlude 2, the 2 messages. Your cab ride home is a silent affair. Though the 2 telegrams you hold in your hands both seem to know you were at the Trattoria del Parche the night of the O'Banion job, their tones couldn't be more different from one another. It's clear to you that at least one of them, perhaps both of them, can't be from your original benefactor. So read the 2 telegrams in the boxes below, then proceed to Interlude 2. Telegram number 1. The first message was sent only days after the events unfolded at the Hotel Seasons, written in an uneven hand that is markedly different from the delicate script your original invitation had been penned in. It reads, "Still more to discuss, the worst is yet to come. Meet September 18th, Cavalier Speakeasy Southside. Have the answers you need. Password Tullamore." And it's just signed with the letter F. Telegram number 2. The second message arrived several days into your stay at St. Mary's. It is professionally typed, and its postmark reveals that it was sent from Boston. Request your presence at the Parker Hotel Hospital in Boston on the evening of September 18th. Please accept apologies for the continued mystery. Importance cannot be understated. Happy you made it out in one piece. And it's signed Gigi. You mull the 2 messages over. Your curiosity demands answers, but there's no telling who or what is waiting for you at either destination. Either one of those telegrams could end up spelling trouble for you, and you'd only be able to choose one of them to attend. Hopefully you'll be the right one. I'm going to choose to meet Gigi. I know that it's not the same person as in-game, I know that F can't be the same person because the script is completely different. So Gigi, who's also being more polite, it could be Gigi who sent the original note. So proceed to Parker House 1. The train ride from Arkham is mercifully uneventful. When you step onto the platform at North Station in the heart of Boston's downtown district, it's just a brisk stroll under the glare of neon lights and street lamps before you arrive at the Parker House Hotel. Inside the hotel is every bit a work of art as the Seasons, with polished marble floors and sophisticated French decor. You barely have enough time to give your name to the hotelier before you are intercepted by a tall, broad-shouldered man in a black fedora. "Our guest of honor," he grunts. "Come." The man swiftly leads you to the hotel lounge before taking a post at the doorway, folding his arms menacingly. Inside, a glamorous young woman sits with her back turned to you, idly swirling her champagne in a glass with disaffectioned elegance as she watches the world outside the window pass by. She cuts a dazzling figure, an effect that is significantly diminished when she takes note of your arrival and opens her mouth to speak. "Thank goodness," she says with a nasal voice that could crack solid glass. "You made it. Charmed, I'm sure." You don't have much time for pleasantry, but Giada Giuliano, Gigi, as her friends, to her friends, insists on making small talk before she cuts to the chase. You suspect that she's nervous. "We like to solve our problems in-house, capice? Capice? Capiche?" Ah, I'm just trying to mix that voice with, yeah, sorry. She sighs, sipping her champagne. "We don't usually need to look out." I imagine her voice is like Fran Dresser, if that's the correct actress's name. "We don't usually need to look outside the family if we got an issue, but this time," Gigi explains that she recently got hitched to her long-term boyfriend, but it's hard not to flinch when you hear her husband's name. Mobster Jackie Giuliano is one of the most feared men in Boston's underground, and his name carries weight wherever it's printed. The implication hangs in the air, and you ask if she contacted you in hopes of being rescued from her new marriage. "What, save me from my big galoot? Nah," she laughs. "I need you to save him." As you settle into the plush seat across from Gigi, she pulls out a photograph from her clutch and slides it in front of you. You recognize the stately grand dame in the photo. This was the woman holding court at the head of the O'Banion party's table at the Hotel Seasons. The woman in the photograph, explains Gigi, is Anna Giuliano, her new mother-in-law. 6 months ago, she showed up at our doorstep unannounced. Jackie was over the moon to see his good old ma from the old country. Took all of 5 minutes for her to start acting like she ruled the damn joint, start filling Jackie's head with ideas like staking bigger claims and sending messages with bullets. Taking out the O'Banions in Arkham would send a message to all our rivals that no one would be able to cross us and live to tell about it. You're forced to concede that wiping out the O'Banions as a show of force has its own dark logic, though you're surprised that the reasoning behind the attack of the Hotel Seasons is so simple. "Yeah, that's the thing," says Gigi, producing a second photograph from her purse. "It sure ain't." The second photograph in front of you is significantly older and faded, featuring a seaside portrait of a young boy with scabbed knees sitting next to a stern older woman in a plain dress. "Jackie showed this to me when we first got together, and I'll never forget about it," she snarls. "That's Jackie's mother, not whoever this fake is. That's why I need you, understand? Help me figure out how to stop this, now that she's got him fooled, before he sends my baby down a one-way street." Side by side, the two women in the photographs look as different as night and day. If Gigi is telling the truth, there's no way that the woman in each photo could be the same person. You lean in to ask how she got wind of you and why she invited you to the Hotel Seasons. "My boys tell me you're no greenhorn," she smirks. "Haven't you been solving riddles like this for years? Truth is, I meant to flag you down sooner, but this is the first time I've put out a formal invitation." Gigi pauses to finish off the last of her champagne. "We have to check the papers to see if you even made it through the hotel bloodbath alive. I didn't toss you into that mess, cross my heart." The revelation that Gigi isn't your elusive benefactor is, to say the least, disappointing. She catches the shift in your demeanor and cracks a grin that's equal parts charm and mischief. "Hey, chin up, honey. I'm not about to toss you to another mess unprepared. I know exactly where Anna's holed up, and my boys have paved the way for smooth operation. Plus, we're talking compensation. Big fat stacks, you get me?" Whether or not Gigi is entirely trustworthy remains to be seen. She is, after all, the wife of an underground kingpin, but the identity of Anna Giuliano might be the key to the mystery you're beginning to unravel. It couldn't hurt to dig a little deeper, especially if the pay is right. So record in your campaign log that Gigi Giuliano is assisting the investigation, and I get to add Gigi Giuliano to my deck, which I will get to what she does in a little bit. And then we proceed to Scenario 2B, Dancing with Death. Scenario 2B, Dancing with Death. Despite its remote location, the prestigious performing arts school boasts a distinguished reputation in the world of dance and theater. Still, the long drive to Nussbaum Academy is a somber one. Your Model T rumbles along the winding roads, the scenery passing by in a blur of muted autumn colors. There's a sense of tension that hangs in the air as you cross the Ipswich River into the Willowdale Forest, and every branch that scratches against your car's windows sets your skin to crawling. Because Gigi Giuliano is assisting the investigation, skip ahead to Dancing with Death 2. For her part, Gigi seems largely oblivious to the ominous surroundings and has spent the past hour meticulously applying makeup in a compact mirror while outlining her plan. The woman claiming to be Anna Giuliano, A&A, I don't know if it should be Anna or Anna, has been using Nussbaum Academy as her base of operations for months, far from the prying eyes of Gigi's trusted associates. While the school would usually be bustling with students at this time of year, she has arranged for a distraction, tickets to the Boston Ballet for the entire faculty donated in the name of one of Nussbaum Academy's many benefactors. If everything goes off without a hitch, Gigi explains, puckering her lips as she paints on her lipstick, we'll waltz in, get some dirt on Mother Darling, and waltz right back out. Easy street. Under the cover of night, you and Gigi finally arrive at the gates of the academy. Gigi orders your driver to hide the Model T nearby and wait before joining you at the compound's threshold. With most of the student body away at the theater at this late hour, you're in a prime position to take advantage of the opportunity to scour the campus. You're in a prime position to scour the campus for information on Madame Giuliano. So we're using setup 1 for this, which I have put together. There are 3 keys. There is a cultist, tablet, and elder thing key. They use the same rules as for the greater good. While investigating the sprawling manner of Nussbaum Academy, the investigators may become disoriented and confused by the estate's winding halls. During the scenario, the active Jinx will instruct the investigators to spin the performance hall in the center of the estate. I'll explain how the map looks in just a second. So basically there is a ring of 8 locations, and in the center of it is the performance hall. The way that I have it oriented is that the starting location, Nussbaum Academy, connects to the Grand Salon, which connects to the performance hall in the center of the circle. Okay, so Nussbaum Academy's outside of the circle, then there's the circle, and then the performance hall is connected to the locations directly beneath it, in the sense of like what its bottom edge is pointing to and what its top edge is pointing to. And so right now, the Grand Salon is across from the head mistress's chamber, and then there are 6 Nussbaum Academy interior locations that have been shuffled and randomly distributed. They fill in the other things. So the performance hall in the center will spin as we play. I begin play with Gigi Giuliano between bin things, seen places. That's what the title underneath her says. 3 costs, but I start with her in play, and she doesn't take up an ally slot, which is lovely. Commits for an agility and a wild. Ally criminal syndicate. You get +1 agility while she is in play, and when you would take a will test on a treachery card, I can exhaust her to reduce the difficulty of that test by 2, limit once per round. Brains are an asset, if you can hide them. Soaks for 2 and 2. I spent my 6 XP. I wasn't sure what to spend my 6 XP on, if I'll be completely honest with you. I ended up getting 2 copies of Prophetic, a card I don't normally get, but I feel in this deck it's going to do me some good work. Dancing with Death. Skulls are -X. X is the number of the cards with victory point 1 or higher in the victory display. Cultists are reveal another token. If you fail, move the nearest bewitched enemy once towards you. Tablets are -2. If you fail, spin the performance hall until its title is facing your location. If you're at the performance hall, take 1 horror instead. And elder things are -1, take a damage, or 1 horror. Agenda 1A of only one agenda, the Dance Macabre. Nussbaum Academy for the Performing Arts was founded in the late 1890s by Helena Nussbaum, a wealthy and eccentric immigrant from Baden-Württemberg. Over the years, the Academy has earned wide international acclaim, with alumni featured in the London Symphony Orchestra and the Ballets Russes. But based on the state of affairs this evening, it's safe to say that you're witnessing the Academy's final act. Excuse me. Jinx, spin the performance hall X times in the direction of your choice, where X is the amount you failed by. Limit once per round. Forced, when a story asset, story card, or non-weakness enemy with victory 0 or higher enters the victory display, remove 1 doom from this agenda to a minimum of 1. Act 1A, Dancing with Death version 1. Thanks to Gigi's foresight, slipping into Nussbaum Academy is a breeze. If there's any dirt on Madame Giuliano here, finding it should be a walk in the park. If you didn't know better, you'd think the school was out for the season. So why can't you shake this nagging feeling of unease? Objective: at the end of the round, the investigators may spend the requisite number of clues, which is 3 per investigator clues, to advance. I begin play at the Nussbaum Academy. Nussbaum Academy itself is a massive manor estate. Its scarlet exterior adorned with intricate gold detailings. Interesting that I didn't catch this before. Interesting, it's the same color scheme as the Hotel Seasons. Rumors say that the building is an exact replica of Madame Nussbaum's family home in Germany. And then it is a 2-shroud, 1 per investigator location. Entryway traded. Reaction: after you evade an enemy at the Academy foyer, immediately move to the Grand Salon. As a double action, I can gain 3 resources, limit once per game. I'm not saying that there's anything to the fact that it has the similar color scheme. I just found it interesting that, oh, it has the exact same color scheme. That's neat. And I will announce the other locations as they become relevant. So it's interesting that I am now a 4-4-1-4 to my stat line. I'm not complaining about that. Just funny to me that that's what my stats are. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Sorry, Mr. B, there's a screen that prevents you from getting in. Infuse life, 2 drain essences, a deny existence, and offering bowl. I don't want most of this, if I'm being completely honest. So I will keep the offering bowl, which gets me Grandmare's Charm, Prophetic, a Cosmic Guidance, and a Ward of Protection. Yeah, I'll take it. So I need 3 clues. And there's only one. The only thing that my location connects to is the Grand Salon. It is outside of the ring, so I don't have to worry about ring shenanigans at the moment. There's an enemy that I hope the text is on that. Otherwise, I'll have to double check enemy movement when it comes to the. Yeah, I'll deal with that bridge if and when we cross it. So let's go ahead and get Prophetic out. And then Offering Bowl. So that cost me 4 total. Prophetic has 2 resources on it. Offering Bowl has 3 offerings on it. We're going to fast exhaust Offering Bowl, take a damage, which I'll put on myself, to gain 2 resources. 1, 2. And then because I put damage on myself, I get to draw 2 cards and keep one of them. It is either another Prophetic or it is a Blood Curse. I'll take the Prophetic. I could play the other Prophetic and just have a whole bunch going for me for when I start casting spells. Sure, last action, let's get another Prophetic out. Drops me to 0 resources, but I've got now 4 resources that replenish every turn that can be used on Fortune Spell Spirit cards or test on Fortune Spell Spirit cards. That's not what I meant to do this round, but it's what I did. Resource on a card, Dendromorphosis, which doesn't boot anything right now, and honestly, when I drew Dendromorphosis, I'm like, great, I'll take it. No objections here. 1 of 12 Doom, and I find a Lissome Familiar. 1 health, 3 fight, 4 evade, creature familiar, aloof, and jinxed, and spawns at a connecting location, unrevealed if possible, so it'll spawn at the Grand Salon, the only thing that I'm connected to. And forced, when I enter its location, it attacks me for a damage. There are no ordinary cats, which is a quote attributed to Colette. Okay. Lissom, Lissome. Lissom, I believe, familiar. Man, I can take a whole bunch of damage if I really, really wanted to right now. I'm gonna take a damage from Offering Bowl to kill Dendromorphosis to gain me 2 resources. That's at fast speed. And then I'm going to play Grandmare's Charm for my first action, which I will spend 2 resources. So the 2 resources I got from Offering Bowl get me Grandmare's Charm. And I'm going to... Oh, that replenishes charges. Good to know that that's... Actually, I'm going to have that damage be done to me, because I'm not going to be triggering Grandmare's Charm this turn. In fact, I don't know if I'm going to play Grandmare's Charm this turn. I am going to deal the damage to me instead of the Dendromorphosis. So draw 2 cards, which is a Ward of Protection and a Jim Culver. Let's take Jim. So I'm at 3 resources, and I haven't technically taken an action yet. Let's investigate at 2 up. Might as well get some clues. Elder Sign. I can heal a damage. I'll take that. It puts me at 1 of 8, down from 2 of 8 to get this clue. And then I'm going to move into the list. So that was my first real action. We're going to Hermes into the Grand Salon with the Lissom Familiar. The Academy's vestibule is lavish indeed, almost overwhelmingly so. The stylish modern decor makes the Hotel Season's attempts at achieving the same aesthetic feel almost chintzy. 3 Shroud, 1 per investigator clues. Forced when the locations to the immediate left and right of the Grand Salon are revealed, place additional 1 per investigator clues on them, and the locations to the immediate left and right of the Grand Salon get -1 Shroud. That's nice. When I walk in here, I take a damage. That I will put on Dendromorphosis. I guess it doesn't really matter the order of operations, but it was nice to get the cards. So I... First action investigated, second action Hermesed. So 2 real actions left. Let's investigate at 1 up. Elder Thing, -1. Take 1 damage or 1 horror. I'll take a damage onto myself, putting me at 2, but I already used my once per phase ability, so don't worry about that. But I got the clue. Importantly, I got the clue. And then let's move, for my last action, to one of the Nussbaum Academy interiors. They're all the same on the back. Nussbaum Academy's vibrant, and they all connect in a circle, if that wasn't obvious. Nussbaum Academy's vibrant red exterior stands in startling contrast to the dark woodland that surrounds it. It must have cost a fortune to build so far away from the city. So I found the Natatorium, which is a 2 Shroud, 2 per investigator clue location. Fast, spend 3 clues to immediately take an action as if it were your turn. This action does not count towards the number of actions you can take each turn. Refresh clues on this location to its maximum clue value. Forced when you are at this location, if it is connected to the performance hall, move, fight, and evade actions cost an additional action to perform. The flavor text is, the Academy's indoor swimming pool is both a shimmering vision of opulence and a testament to Helena Nussbaum's vast fortune. It's probably Natatorium, not Natatorium, because like Nautilus. Yeah. Resource and a card. Fearless. So Fearless, Cosmic Guidance, Ward of Protection, Grandmare's Charm, and Jim Culver. Don't have a lot of spell and... Well, I do have some spirit cards in hand. A spirit card in hand, but one thing at a time. 2 of 12 Doom. Anaplectic Jinx. Hex Jinxed. Test Will 4. If you fail, put into play in your threat area. I'm going to exhaust G. Do you make that Will 2? While it's in my threat area, if any number of clues are discovered at your location, heal an equal amount of damage from the nearest eligible enemy, and I can remove the top non-weakness card from your deck from the game to discard it. I'd rather just not deal with this at all, if that's cool. And I'm going to fast spend my last offering, which discards the offering bowl, to gain 2 resources and put a damage onto myself, which lets me draw 2 cards and discard 1 of them. Unfortunately, it has to be the second site, because I drew Grandmare's... I grabbed Called Guinea. That absolutely changes a whole bunch of things. I'm 2 up. I was going to commit Cosmic Guidance to this, but I want the healing. Skulls minus X. X is the number of cards in the victory you play with victory 1 or higher. Nope. So I don't fail, but now I've got Called a Guinea in my hand, and I didn't really want that, if I'm being honest. Okay, let's get the clue I need first. I'm 2 up. Elder Thing, -1, take a damage or a horror. I don't really want to take a damage. I'm already at 3 of 8. I want the card draw, though. I'm going to go to 4 of 8 because I really want this card draw. So I'm going to draw 2 cards. It's Infuse Life and Deny Existence. I can't believe I'm going to grab Infused Life, but I can play it for free. So I might as well grab it. That changes my math on a lot of things. Okay, so I have 2 regular actions and a Hermes actions, because I can't advance till the end of the round. So I'm going to draw another card. It's a Fearless. And then I'm going to ditch Called to Guinea, getting rid of a Cosmic Guidance. I'm just getting rid of all my skills. Cosmic Guidance, Fearless, and Fearless. Because it's just ditch 3 cards. Choose to discard 3 cards from your hand to get rid of it. And then next turn I can heal with Infuse Life, which feels nice. Resource and a card. So I got a Scroll of Secrets, and I have 7 resources. I'm going to spend 3 clues in advance. Doop, doop, doop. Pod de Chat. It quickly becomes apparent that not all is well with the prestigious Dance Academy. An eerie tension hangs in the air, and the sense of dread in the back of your mind has only grown larger. Though Gigi's ruse was vital in clearing out most of the students, the ones you encounter now are dazed and confused, moving languidly, from room to room like sleepwalkers. Strangely, you've encountered no signs of the school's faculty, the headmistress's chamber. School's faculty, period. The headmistress's chamber, you realize, could hold vital clues about Madame Juliana's whereabouts, but they are securely locked, much like many other rooms dedicated to the school's staff. As you test the headmistress's door, a small, glassy object tumbles down a nearby staircase, landing with a delicate thud. You pick it up and find it's an intricately carved bird in a crystal. You crane your neck upward to see where it might have fallen from, but the top of the stairway is shrouded in darkness. Choose an investigator to take control of the set-aside Glass Peacock story asset. Until the end of the scenario, it does not take up a hand slot. Glass Peacock, the bird with crystal plumage, is a 2-cost asset, commits for 2 will. It's item occult and charm, and it gives me +1 will while it's in play. I'll take that. Action, if an enemy with the jinxed keyword is at your location, I can discard the Glass Peacock to exhaust that enemy. If the enemy is non-elite, deal 2 damage to it. This action does not trigger attacks of opportunity. The sculpture from behind Madame Pappenheimer's Pappenheimer's office gleams in the light, causing vibrant colors across your lamp. I swear I can speak English. It's when you start getting into non-English, it's just start fumbling. Okay, reveal any remaining unrevealed. As I said, I can read. Reveal any remaining unrevealed academy locations except for the headmistress's chamber. I cannot enter the headmistress's chamber. It says so on the back of it. I will read the locations as I get to them. All right. 1 per investigator clues, 2 per investigator clues. There's actually should have been a 3rd clue on the Notorium because I forgot about the Grand Salon. Dining hall gets an additional clue because it's connected to the Grand Salon. Or it's the immediate left and right of the Grand Salon, I should say. 1 per investigator clues. 1 per investigator clues. Great. Gather the set-aside Patricia Sims, Olga Savrona, and the Sarah Pierce story assets. Put Patricia Sims... Okay, where are you? 1, 2, 3. So as part of setup, there are 2 copies of them. One has a story card back, the other one has an enemy back, and I got a random of each of them, and I don't know which one is which. Patricia Sims goes to the lecture hall, which is right next to me. Olga goes to the private recital chamber, which is right next to that. So along the way. And then put Sarah Pierce in the student dormitory, which is on the other side of the map. They all have a test plus test, or stat plus stat test. So the one nearest to me is Patricia Sims. If I am at her location, action, test will plus strength 8 to attempt to shake Patricia out of her trance. As an additional cost, I may spend any number of actions when I initiate this test. For each additional action spent, reduce the difficulty of this test by 3. If you succeed, flip this card over. Same thing for Olga, but it's will plus intellect. Same thing for... Olga is will plus agility. Sarah Pierce is... I got those 2 mixed up. And Sarah Pierce is will plus intellect. So they're all will, just different will, different bonus, different combined. So Act 2A, Retome, Retombe. I'm assuming, I don't know how that should be better pronounced. You're itching to get into the headmistress's chambers, but her door is much sturdier than it looks. Maybe one of the students can help you find a key, if you could find anyone who still has their wits about them. So if investigators at a location connected to the headmistress's chamber has at least 2 keys, you may choose to advance. Okay. And I had to advance at the end of the round. Yep. So top of the round, 3 of 12 doom. And I found Dancing Plague, Curse Performance, put into play next to the agenda. While it is in play, each investigator must take 1 damage or 1 horror each time they take a move action. 1 damage or 1 horror. I don't love that, but it's fine. And then at the end of the round, discard 1 copy of Dancing Plague. Movement is never mute. It's as language. Okay. I'm going to use all of my prophetic money to just play Infuse Life and heal 3. I'm not even sad about that. This is just going to be a setup round, honestly. We're going to play Jim Culver for 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Which leaves me with 3 resources, but bumps me to 6 will. And I'm going to play the Scroll of Secrets that I got to look at the bottom, and then look at the bottom card of my deck, which is a Deny Existence, which I might as well draw. Sweet. Enemy phase, nothing. Resource and a card. So I'm at 4 resources and another Scroll of Secrets. Okay. That's fine. Get rid of the Dancing Plague. And we go to 4 of 12 Doom, and we draw a Daughter of Whispers. 2 health, 3 fight, 4 evade, humanoid, witch, cultist, alert, jinxed. Spawn, location with the most non-elite enemies, so the Grand Salon. And then at the end of the round, forced, move each enemy not named Daughter of Whispers at this card's location to a connecting location. She hits for a damage and a horror. And her flavor text is, you don't have to worry anymore, just do as she asks. So she's going to bump that familiar to any connecting location, which could be to the Academy foyer that I'm never going to go back to. Sweet. I'm going to use Scroll of Secrets again and find a Cosmic Flame. There we go. Something to attack with. We're going to spend 3 off of Prophetic to get a Cosmic Flame down. And then we're going to... What are we going to do? I kind of want to get Grandmare's Charm because it lets me replenish, but I don't need to get it down right now. So let's move to the lecture theater. Lecture theater. Action, not action, fast. Spend up to 3 clues. Spin the performance hall that many times in any direction. I don't have any clues at the moment. Force, at the beginning of the investigation phase, if an investigator is at the lecture theater and it is connected to the performance hall, refresh clues on the lecture theater to its maximum clue value. Although Nussbaum Academy is primarily a school for the arts, it does contain a traditional academic classroom suited for students that are less likely to achieve stardom. So I have 2 actions left. I can reduce the difficulty. I can spend an action and reduce the difficulty of this test by 3. I can spend an additional action to reduce the difficulty of this test by 3. To make the difficulty of this test 5 to my 7. That's not bad. Let's do 5 to 7. I can take a hit. 0. Great. And by 5 to 7, I mean I'm at 7 going against a 5 difficulty. So I succeeded. So we flip over this card. Right, the Patricia Sims, student of drama. Names which begin with the letter S are the names of snakes, babbles Patricia, her knees pressed against her chest. Darkness, tears, and sighs. I could explain everything to you, but I think it would be wrong. That's her front flavor text, but I flip her over. Patricia's rescue. Step aside, Toots. Step aside, Toots, Gigi says, tired of Patricia's hysterics. She steps up, her voice sharp and cutting. Listen here, Missy. You think you're the first little girl to ever be scared of something? Well, I've got news for you. Something about the shrill nasal edge of Gigi's voice as she berates the girl manages to slice through Patricia's trance. Dazed, Patricia blinks, then thanks you both for pulling her out of it. She quickly tells you about a secret key to the headmistress's office she has tucked away in case you can save Madame Pappenheimer from whatever horrors have overcome the school. As Patricia runs off, Gigi smirks, self-satisfied. She says, nothing to it. Gather one of the set-aside keys. At random, I got the Elder Thing. And put it 3 locations from you counterclockwise, skipping the headmistress's location. 1, skip the headmistress's. 2, 3, so it's the student dormitory. Remember that you may use a fast action or free trigger to pick up a key on a location with no clues on it. Flip this over and add her to the victory display. So she's victory 1, which means you reduce Doom by 1. Nice. That worked out. Resource and a card. Another Jim Culver. And we go to 4 of 12 Doom. And I draw Size from the Depth. Hex Power. Revelation, test will 3. If you fail, put it in play next to the agenda deck. While it is in play, each non-elite enemy with aloof or patrol keywords loses those keywords and gains Hunter and Elusive instead. I forgot to boot the Losums familiar to the Academy foyer like I said I was going to, so I just did that right now. As a double action, I can discard Size from the Depth. It's SIGHS, just to be clear. I'm going to exhaust Gigi and make this a difficulty 1. I'm 5 up, and that's a tablet. -2 if I fail. I did not. Get rid of it. Excellent. Let's move over to the private recital chamber. 3 shroud, 1 per investigator clues. Reaction after you move here, you may move a non-elite enemy from a connecting location to your location, or vice versa. Spin the performance hall once, counterclockwise. I'm good, thanks. Forced, while you're at this location, if it is connected to the performance hall, you get -2 to all fight and investigate checks. Students are often required to entertain esteemed visitors to the school in these private chambers, sometimes until the wee hours of the morning. I'm going to spend 2 actions to test. I'm at... Do I really need to spend 2 actions? I'm at 10 to 8 as it is. I'm pretty happy at 10 to 8. I'm just going to spend 1 action. To be 10 to 8. -1. Right. Olga's flavor text on the front. Olga twirls about the room like a marionette on invisible strings, each movement more erratic and jarring than the next. Fresh blood seeps through the soles of her ballet slippers, and it's the enemy version of her. Olga, elegance in horror, 3 health, 2 fight, 4 For evade, humanoid performer, bewitched, elite, aloof alert, revelation, put one of the set-aside keys on her. It's the tablet key. Force at the end of the enemy phase, if she is unengaged, move her one location away from the nearest investigator to a location with no investigators, if able. And then, if she's engaged, disengage her instead. Olga screams wildly as her grotesque ballet contorts her body into impossible shapes. Victory 1 hits for a damage and a horror. Let's use my last scroll of secrets while I remember that for ritual candles. So I've got 2 actions left. Let's engage her because I'd like her to stay near me if able. And let's go ahead and Cosmic Flame her. So I'm at 6-2. -3. So I hit and deal 2 damage to her. And she stays here. She's not elusive, but she will hit me for a damage and a horror, which I'm fine with. And go from there. I could have spent money on Prophetic to boost that test, but I really didn't need to. So let's go ahead and enemy phase, damage and horror. I'll take the damage on myself, and I'll put the horror on Jim. I'll exhaust Jim to draw a card, which is a Ritual Candles. And then I put a damage on myself, which gets me either a second sight or an infused life. I'll take that second sight, please, and thank you. And then at the end of the enemy phase, she will disengage from me. Resource and a card. So I'm at 6 resources. Blood Curse, Deny Existence, 2 Ritual Candles, a Ward of Protection, Scroll of Secrets, Grandmare's Charm, Jim Culver, and a second sight. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 cards in hand. I don't need the second Jim right now, but thank you. I appreciate it. 5 of 12 Doom. Obscuring Fog attaches to my location. It's now Shroud 5. That's fine. Action Engage. Action Fight. I'm 4 up. +1. Spend a charge. Sorry, Olga, I had to murder you. She's Victory 1, which reduces Doom down to 4. And I beat up an enemy, so I get the key on her. So that was 2 actions. Unfortunately, for me to get across, I have to go all the way around because I can't. The shorter path is through the headmistress's chamber, and the performance hall hasn't moved at all. But it's going to take me a minute to get around. So let's move to the lecture theater for my Hermes action. And then I'm going to play Second Sight using all 4 of the resources off of Prophetic, because I might as well. Boy. That has 3 charges on it. Resource and a card. I've got 7 resources. I am just swimming in it this game. Prophetic has done some good work, I will say. So I'm at 7 resources, and I drew a Drain Essence. We go to 5 of 12 Doom, Deja Vu, and I get Hexentance. Jinxed. Put Hexentance into play in my threat area. Forced, if you perform a move action while Hexentance is in your threat area, for the remainder of your turn, take 1 damage each time you take a non-move action. Double action, discard Hexentance. No dancer will be able to tread as lightly as you, but every step you take will feel as if you were treading upon knives. I don't want this. So I will spend 1 off of Prophetic and take a horror onto Gigi. Thanks, Gigi. To play Ward of Protection and just be like, no. No, thank you. I do not once. So let's go ahead and move, and then move. I will engage the Daughter of Whispers when I enter the Grand Salon. And I have 2 actions left. Let's attack her. I'm 6-3. I'll spend 1 to be 7-3 off of a Prophetic. -2. I'll spend a charge. You're dead. You're dead. And then for my last action, we're going to get down Grandmare's Charm to start replenishing my Cosmic Flame. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I don't need to do that right now, so I won't. That cost me 2 real resources, though, so I'm now at 6 resources due to upkeep, and I have another Drain Essence. Okay. Doom puts us at 6 of 12, and I drew an Exquisite Fear, Hex, Terror, Jinxed. Put into play in my threat area. Each time you would receive any amount of horror, receive an additional horror. As an action, take a horror, which is 2 horror, to get rid of it. I don't love that. So the student dormitory, which is where I'm going, is where Sarah is. 1 shroud. I'm 2 locations away from it, but it's 0 clues. Fast, spend up to 3 clues or resources. Move that menu clues to a connecting location. From a collecting location to student dormitory to spin the performance hall once. Forced, while you are at this location, if it is connected to the performance hall, treat its base shroud as 5. Due to a recent infestation of termites, students have vacated their usual rooms in favor of the impromptu sleeping area in one of the school's spare ballrooms. Okay, so I can just go over here and pick up the key. There's no clues that are going to be spawning. I've got to deny existence. But if I get hit, I'm going to take a bunch of horror. So I'm going to move 2 and pick up the key. I'm going to move through the dining hall. 3 shroud, 2 clues. Double action, spend 2 clues to heal 2 damage. Limit once per game. Forced, while you're at this location, if it is connected to the performance hall, you may not activate the action abilities on player cards. There are cold, unfinished meals still on the table. Well, I've got the 2 keys I need, but I'd like to talk to the last person. So I have 2 actions left. I'm gonna take 2 horror, putting me at 2 of 6 to get rid of Exquisite Fear. I'm going to fast take a direct damage, putting me at 3 to recharge Cosmic Flame. Which puts... I could draw cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I don't want to draw cards. I just want to recharge Cosmic Flame. I can take a hit if I need to. So let's go ahead and commit a ritual... I commit a ritual candles to be 11 to 8 for my last action to flip this. -1. I forgot to read her front flavor text. You discover Sarah with her cheek pressed against the wallpaper, humming a haunting melody into the corner. When you coax her around, her glazed and bewildered eyes dilate in light. With some effort, you manage to snap Sarah out of her trance. Her voice is raspy and hoarse, worn thin from hours spent singing a haunting, mournful melody she can barely recall, but you urge her to get out of the school fast. "But wait," she whispers, her voice tiny and strained. "If you need to find the headmistress, I've hidden a key where no one else will think to look. Gather the last key, which is the cultist key, and put it in the performance hall." Okay. Remember that you may use the fast ability to pick up a key on a location with no clues. There's currently only 1 clue on the performance hall. Flip this over and add her to the victory display, which drops us back down to 5 doom. Great. Resource and a card. Bloodstone. Yeah, I need to get a Relic Hunter just for some extra slot availability. And hey, look, we move back to 6 to 12 doom. I can't remember if I need that last key for something. Enthralled Student. 1 health, 2 fight, 5 evade. Humanoid Performer Bewitched. Spawn at a connecting location. I'm going to put her in the greenhouse because I'm not heading that way. Aloof Jinxed patrols counterclockwise. Force as additional cost to enter Enthralled Student's location. You must either choose 1, spend the additional action, or place a doom on her. Darkness blinds the gifted. Deals 1 horror. Cool. I'm going to go 1, 2, 3 to the performance hall. Performance Hall, 2 Shroud, 1 per investigator clues. Jinxed, it is connected to the locations immediately above and below its top sides. And here's the text I was looking for. Forced, if an enemy would move clockwise from the performance hall, it does so from the top, and it moves counterclockwise, it does so from the bottom. We're going to investigate with Second Sight. I'm 4 up. -2, that's a clue, and a key. So I've got all the keys, and assuming performance hall doesn't move for some reason, I can then just next round. I could advance right now, but I don't need to, so I won't. Resource and a card. So I'm at 8 resources, and I got another offering bowl that I don't need. It is a wild icon, though. 7 of 12. En avant. Madness, performance, revelation, resolve the hunter patrol. Oh, I forgot to patrol you. You patrol counterclockwise, so you go to the headmistress's chambers. Nope, that's clockwise. I understand how clocks work. You go to the student dormitory. Resolve the hunter patrol or elusive keywords on a performer enemy in play. Resolve this effect at X additional time, where X is the number of performer cards in the victory display, which is 2, 3. They're all performer even on the enemy side. Well, wait a minute. Then flip this over out of the victory. So 3. So you move 4 times. 1, 2, 3, 4. You're not in my way, so we're fine. If no enemies were removed during this effect, nope, they were moved. Give your soul to the dance. I'm good, thanks. I control at least 2 keys because I control all of the keys, and I am at a location connected to the headmistress's chamber, so I'm going to advance. This is some tiny text. That is one thing with the physical version. It's just the text on some of these. There's just so much story text that sometimes it's really hard to read. Once inside the headmistress's chamber, you scour every nook and cranny, searching for any clue about Madame Giuliano. The minutes pass in silence until Gigi gasps. I only just touched it, she says, pointing at an ornate wall carving of a blue flower. A hidden panel has opened beside her, revealing a dark passage. Do you want to see where it goes? You both venture down a long, winding tunnel towards a faint, distant light. Eventually, you arrive at your destination and wish you hadn't. Several women in robes encircle an open chamber, the lifeless body of a young woman contorted in agony at their center. An older, dark-skinned woman in a stylish suit, clearly the leader, paces over the corpse. It's not enough, she laments, frustration coloring her voice. There aren't enough suitable candidates for Helena's arrival. What will she say? We're running out of time. The leader whirls around to her followers, her eyes burning with rage. We continue the sacrifices. The students must die. Helena, give me power. Ah! The sudden outburst startles you when you realize Gigi has set the velvet curtains surrounding the room's perimeter on fire with a nearby candelabra. Got enough of this witchy nonsense, she hisses, her eyes blazing as flames spread throughout the chamber. Let's get out of here. Put the Chamber of Size into play. Chamber of Size. 5 Shroud, 2 per investigator clues. Jinxed, force when an investigator at the Chamber of Size. Well, each investigator at the Chamber of Size, each bewitched enemy, loses any hunter and patrol keywords and gains patrol Chamber of Size. And move each investigator at a location next to the headmistress's chamber to the headmistress's chamber. Madame Poppenheimer's office, 4 Shroud, 2 per investigator clues. Force at the end of the round of investigators inside the headmistress's chamber. Discard cards from the top of the encounter deck until an enemy is revealed. Spawn that enemy at the performance hall and spin it in any one direction. Once in any direction. Victory 1. Okay, discard cards at the top of the encounter deck until 2 witch enemies are revealed and spawn one at the Chamber of Size. So we have a Daughter of Whispers at the Chamber of Size. And then the other at the performance hall. Another Daughter of Whispers. Great. Love it. Then spin the performance hall until the top and bottom exits are facing each academy location at the 3 and 9 o'clock positions, so perpendicular to where I am now. That's fine. Gather to set aside Blanche, Pappenheimer enemy, and put her into play at the Chamber of Size. 3 health, 3 fight, 4 evade, acting headmistress. Humanoid performer witch retaliate. She gets +1 per investigator health. At the end of the enemy phase, if she is ready, search the encounter deck for a performer enemy and spawn it at the performance hall, then spin the performance hall clockwise twice. Shuffle the Inferno encounter set into the encounter deck along with the encounter discard pile. Okay. And this is another performance term that I don't immediately understand. Contretemps. Of all the things you are expected to find in the depths of Nussbaum Academy, a coven of murderous witches wasn't on the list. Gigi may have to put a stop to their ritual, but you still need to get out of this place, and fast, but before you end up as one of these sacrifices as well. So Academy Foyer gains action Resign. If each remaining investigator has resigned, advance. So a lot has just changed, but there's a bunch of victory on the board right now. So that's nice, and I have the entirety of my turn still. Okay. So I can theoretically kill Blanche this turn. Theoretically. So Hermes in, and I make a whole bunch of friends. I'm 3 up. I've got Prophetic. 4 up with Prophetic on Blanche. -1. I'll spend a charge to do 2 damage. Fast, exhaust, Grandmare's Charm to take a direct damage. I don't want to draw cards right now, so I won't. But that replenishes a charge. Let's attack Blanche again. I'll spend 1 off of Prophetic to be 4 up. -4, you're dead. Hey, look, a victory win into the display, so we reduce Doom by 1, so we're now at 6 of 12 once again. And then, I spent a charge off of Cosmic Flame, and then let's do it once more. Cosmic Flame, the Daughter of Whispers. I'll spend 1 off of Prophetic to be 4 up. Elder Thing, I will take a damage, which will go on to Gigi. Because I got an Elder Thing, but I will spend the last thing off of Cosmic Flame to murder her, the Daughter of Whispers. Great. So, while I am here, all bewitched enemies, of which there is currently only 1, instead of doing its normal patrol or hunter, even if it didn't have patrol or hunter, it gains patrol me, or patrol this location. Resource Sand a card, Bloodstone. I'm at 4 of 8 health and 2 of 6 horror. That's not so bad. 2 of 6, yeah. Meaning I've taken 4 and I of 8 total and 2 of 6 total. We move to 7 of 12 and we draw an analeptic Jinx. We're going to exhaust Gigi to make this will test way easier. I'm 4 up. Automatic failure. Oh, that's bad. Sorry, there was like a pause there because I was like, oh, right, I need to refresh Prophetic and Grandmare's Charm and everything. If you fail, put into play my threat area. While it's in my threat area, if any number of clues are discovered from your location, heal an enemy. Oh, yeah, that's fine. I don't care if I'm healing enemies. Action 1, investigate. Let's be honest, I'm not playing most of what's in my hand at this point. So let's just get myself 4 up. I'm 6 to 5 using Second Sight. 7, 8, 9 to 5 using 3 off of Prophetic. That is a cultist. Reveal another token. That is a +1. I did reveal a cultist, so I lose a charge from Second Sight, and I spend a charge from Second Sight to get both of these clues. Great. 1, 2. Then I'm going to Hermes down to the Headmistress's chamber. and also try to investigate this location. I will spend the last one off of Prophetic, which gets me 3 up, and will commit Ritual Candles to be 4 up. That is a Skull, which is a -4. Because of everything in the victory display. I will spend the last charge off of Second Sight. It's still in play. I can still use it to get all the clues from that. So investigate, move. Excuse me, investigate. I am no longer... not everything's hunting me now, or not everything's going to the Chamber of Sighs because I'm no longer there. But I can't just cut through the center. I've got to go around the loop. So let's go to the greenhouse. Enthralled student goes to the headmistress's chamber where I just was. Resource and a card, which gets me to 10 resources. And I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 cards in hand because I drew a Cosmic Guidance. Let's ditch a Bloodstone. I'm not playing you anytime soon. We go to 8 of 12. Exquisite Fear. When you would receive horror, it goes to my play area. When you would receive horror, receive an additional horror. Fine. 1, 2, 3, 4 gets me to the Academy foyer. When I enter the Listham's Familiar's position, I take a damage, which will go on Jim. I forgot that Jim could draw me cards, but I don't want to draw cards. Enemy phase, Enthralled student goes there. I gain a resource. I draw a card, which is a Cosmic Flame. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I'll ditch the Cosmic Flame because I'm going to resign. 9 of 12. Daughter of Whispers, location with the most non-elite enemies. It doesn't matter. I resign. Susporium. Act 3B. You tear through the dimly lit halls of Nussbaum Academy, the manic cackling Madame Peppenheimer's coven snapping at your heel. With one final sprint, you and Gigi crash through the front doors, spilling out into the cold night. You don't stop running until the Academy is a distant silhouette against the moonlit sky, the coven's furious cries fading into the darkness. R1. All right. Got a messy board up here. But R1... The cool night air on your face is a relief after your night spent stumbling through the school's labyrinthian corridors. You'd expected to find your search for Madame Juliana to unravel the makings of some gangland plot, not the coven of witches you found below the academy. Thankfully, your timely intervention disrupted the cult's ritual, the occult ritual the coven had been performing, although the academy itself is certainly worse for wear. You've saved the student of Nussbaum Academy from a dreadful fate at the hands of whatever terrible force the witches serve. So record in your campaign log that you stop the ritual at the academy and gain a tablet token, which I'll... tablets. Should be 3 of them. Why can't I find any of them? There we go. Tablet. Okay. Any investigator may add the Glass Peacock to their deck. Sure. If all 3 of them are in the victory display, Olga, Patricia, and Sarah gain a bonus experience. Great. If Blanche is in the victory display, you depose the leader of the Nussbaum Academy, Coven. Skip ahead to resolution 3. Given that your search turned up no sign of Madame Juliana, you expected Gigi to show some disappointment. Instead, she's pleased as punch, wearing the self-satisfied grin on her face as she fishes a cigarette from her purse. "Did you want to smoke too?" she says, once she notices you looking her way. "Sorry, doll, it's the last one I got." You have half a mind to ask Gigi what she could possibly be in such a good mood about when she produces a folded sheet of paper from her handbag and nonchalantly presses it to your palm. "I found this inside. Anything strike you as familiar?" Your eyes widen when you realize what you're holding. It's a handwritten invitation penned by Declan O'Doyle addressed to Madame Juliana herself. "Lay low, my love, and wait for me at our special place," it reads, accompanied by a peculiar illustration of 3 hares arranged in a wheel. It's a strange symbol, but one you recognize. You know that it's the circular motif that's called the Tinner's Rabbits. You know this because it's displayed prominently across the architecture of the Three Conies, a long-standing tenement building in Arkham South Side. Everyone in Arkham knows about the Three Conies. Gigi smirks when you explain this to her, and she puffs a cloud of smoke into the night air. Guess I'm heading over to your neck of the woods. Think I can count on you to show me around? The following day, as you and Gigi prepare to depart on the train to Arkham from Boston's North Station, you find your attention drawn by a radio broadcast playing on the station cafe. The announcer's voice crackles as he recounts the grisly events of the massacre at the Hotel Seasons in Arkham, dubbing it the Night of Vespers. You look over your shoulder at Gigi, hoping she'll be able to shed some light on the unusual name. It's an old rebellion where they ran the French out of Sicily, she explains, her tone tinged with exasperation as she steps aboard the train. The name is Mother Darling's work, no doubt. It's got her brand of old world charm written all over it. Gigi settles into her seat opposite to you, gazing out the window onto the platform in quiet contemplation. Eventually, she can't help but voice her thoughts aloud. Honestly, who in their right mind would pick Sicily over Paris? Each investigator earns Victory X and then continue to scenario 2A, Behind Closed Doors. So I got 1 bonus XP for shenanigans for getting all 3 of them. So 1, 2, 3, 4 with the bonus, 5 with Blanche, 6, 7, 8. Nice. Probably going to upgrade Jim, maybe? Or do I buckle down and get the... Yeah, we'll figure it out. But yeah, I think I'm going to end this episode here, and I'll continue with the next scenario next time. Thanks for listening.